Say who is Doctor Who?
This is Tim Trelaw.
This is David J. Howe.
I'm Peter Purvis.
I am Sadie Miller.
This is Lauren Cornelius.
Larry, it's Fraser.
For all things in the Doctor Who collecting world and beyond, the Doctor Who Collectors Podcast. I'm Larry Van Mersbergen, your host, and I've been collecting for 42 years. You're listening to Doctor Who Gives a F***, a drunken Doctor Who podcast on the Direction Point Podcast Network.
Hello and welcome to Doctor Who Gives a Fuck, a drunken Doctor Who podcast for the end times. That tagline is never going to get old. This is JP in New Orleans.
This is Sean in Austin.
Hey, Chris in Springfield. Sup?
Hey, it's been a while. It's been since, I think, July since we last did this.
Oh, okay.
Has it really?
Since we did a Doctor Who podcast, yeah. We did a few episodes of another podcast. This is where I get to explain myself now. If you remember, and God, if you can remember anything we say in this fucking show, then God bless you. We decided to take a break from this show and start a new show, a new podcast talking about Inside Number 9. We recorded 2 episodes and we attempted a third. We actually tried to record episodes 2 and 3 of the podcast on the same night. And that
Big mistake.
Yeah, it was a big ass mistake because I was still sick because I ended up getting COVID for the first time ever after 4 years and 10 months. It finally caught up with me. So I had COVID in early October. Then I got better. And then I got the flu, which was way the fuck worse than the COVID. And so I think I was still recovering from the flu when we recorded the second and third episode of Circumventing an Inside Number 9 podcast, which is now available. I don't think it's in Apple Podcasts yet.
That will take 1 to 10 days, I just found out.
Okay.
So, yeah. But if you go online and Google or Dougal, well, try Apple Podcasts first because JB is going to release this like within 4 seconds of us finishing recording. But try that first.
I edit the other one and I am not so fast.
No.
Look for it, Circumventing, wherever you find podcasts.
It's on Libsyn, so just do a Google search, you'll find it there. But anyway, the first episode came out today.
You're the one that downloaded it?
No, actually no, because I listened to like a few seconds of it on the page.
Okay.
But and then I posted it on this feed and told people, hey, this is happening now. Go and watch out. Look for this. So it's out there now.
Okay.
Just look. Just
cool.
do a Google search for Circumventing Inside Number 9 podcast. You'll find it there, and it'll soon be on Apple Podcasts, so you can subscribe there. There's also an RSS feed. I don't know how the fuck those work anymore. So go and check it out. So we got the first episode recorded. That was cool. We tried to record episodes 2 and 3 at the same time. I was still sick as a dog. We got through episode 2, but that ended up being like only a 50-minute edit. I'm sure there was like a lot of shit that got cut out of that. And then we tried to do a third episode, and that just completely fell apart. And I was sick as a dog. I was still isolating. I was stuck in our bedroom. So I had a table set up. I was actually sitting at a card table recording the shit. And I was kind of pissed off because I felt like I was going to be the fucking dead mother for this other podcast, and I didn't want to be a den mother because the two of you were just kind of going off and everything, and it's very hard to rein you in sometimes. And I feel like I can do it on this show because I kind of control everything, but I didn't want to be in control. So that fell apart. We were going to reschedule for the third episode, and then the election happened, and I had a nervous breakdown after that. Like 2 weeks after the election, I was very disillusioned. I just wanted to just go the fuck away. I just wanted to crawl in a hole and just not be seen, not be heard. Just not and just completely erase myself from this place because I went through like all stages of grief, I think, as we all did. I just didn't feel like I had the energy to do full-time podcasting anymore. And I do apologize for that. And I felt like that I let you guys down. And I'm sorry for that.
No, it was cool because we had Chris's wife on Doc, and we learned all about like brain stuff that you possibly couldn't have known.
Yeah, I heard that.
I
heard that because you forwarded me the first 3 episodes, and I listened to them, and yet Doc really brings it home, and I think she is going. I think she's perfect. I think she's going to keep you guys in line.
Yeah,
well,
we needed a smart person.
Yeah.
She really kind of blew my mind though when she in the 4th episode when she mentioned grooming. That kind of put a damper on things.
Wait, what did she say? She was just being stupid.
For the harrowing, she said that it made her think that these people were grooming her.
Yeah.
Which was absolutely true. And the more I thought about it, the more, I'm like, okay, well, I'll pick holes in that. And I was wrong. Yeah. I couldn't pick holes in it.
Welcome to my life. That can't be right. I'll set this straight 3 days later.
Fuck. So now I feel like I get to actually enjoy this other podcast because I still have Britbox. I think what I'm going to do is I'm certainly going to listen to you guys talk about these episodes, and I'm going to need to watch the episodes to know what the fuck you guys are talking about. So I will be watching Inside number 9, which I think is the end goal for you two in the begin with, was for me to get to watch the show.
And each episode of the show is 25 to 30 minutes, so it's not going to take up, you're not doing a podcast about or listening to a podcast about Gone with the Wind. That's awesome, and you are welcome back any old time.
Yeah,
I appreciate
3 of us or 4 of us. Just don't leave me alone. Don't make me do one with Chris alone. I've done so many 3-ways with Chris. We've never had a one-on-one.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what the hell I would do.
I'm not that bad. Come on, man.
I'm kidding. We lost some C-level Doctor Who celebrities within like a week or 2 before Christmas.
Okay.
Yeah, first we lost David A. McKinty, who penned several of the Missing Adventures. Back in the day.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, Chris has mentioned his name a few times.
Yeah, he also wrote that great book. It was a new adventure. No, missing. What did they call it? The Doctor wasn't in it. It was just the Master and Unit. I can't remember maybe it was called The Power of the Master. I don't know. But we lost.
You're talking about it was like an extension of Inferno.
Face of the Enemy, I think, is the name of the book.
There you go.
Face of the Enemy. Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't know. I used to talk to that dude. I didn't know he died.
It was his wife or something that posted on Facebook. He's going into palliative care. I don't know what was wrong with him. And just a few days after that, Siobhan Galachan of the Flashing Blade podcast, host of that podcast, died.
Shit.
Yeah. Formerly Tony Galachan, and yeah, that was one of the first Doctor Who podcasts I listened to.
All right, pour one out for Siobhan. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was very sudden. It was because I remember she was posting about David A. McKinty's death, and then like all of a sudden, boom! This announcement that she had died.
Fuck.
But I hope it was. This is going to sound horrible, but I hope it was physical and it was quick rather than mental. If you guys know what I mean, and if you have a mental issue, please go see your doctor.
Yeah.
See, now we can get sponsored by BetterHelp. Oh, I made that joke already.
Not on this show.
Okay.
Actually, I heard BetterHelp was a big scam. The therapists that they pair you with are barely qualified to be therapists.
Well, I had to join this club to take GLP 101 medication. I don't know what they call it. Generic Ozempic. And they have
semaglutide?
Semaglutide, yeah.
Yeah.
And you have to see a teledoctor. Like, you can't go to your own doctor and see the prescription. You have to see their doctor who's in buttfuck Texas.
You could, but then you have to worry about your doctor actually thinking about it. To get the weed card here in Illinois, I went through a similar thing, and it's like you just tell a guy online a doctor online what's wrong with you, and he just makes up some bullshit, writes a recommendation. You do have to like have one of the conditions they listed, but beyond that, it's like if you've got it, you're fine.
It's expensive because you have to pay anywhere from $70 to $90 a month, plus $190 to $200 for the medication. So it's kind of a big scam. So I just ended up going to my doctor, and he said, "Well, I know a guy that owns one of those pharmacies, so why don't I'll send it to him in Houston." So now I just pay $170 a month, and it gets I'm just saying, pretty cool. Okay. Look into one of them weed cards. See if they're going to be banning gubbies here now.
Although you have to be careful with it, because that's one of those what do they call them? Not an overflow laboratory, but that's basically what they are. The big pharmaceutical companies that develop this shit, they were trying to keep it scarce so they could just run prices through the roof. Well, that activated a thing where, if there's a need for this drug and people can't produce it, you can temporarily open it up to other companies to produce it without having to pay ridiculous royalties and shit. And that's the situation that's going on with the stuff right now. But once the major distributors catch up, which they're trying to say they're there now, they're probably not, but they're trying to pretend they are. But once they catch up, then those other pharmaceutical companies have to stop making it.
Right.
And a lot of that shit will go away.
All I can think I'm thinking about a friend of mine that died of diabetes about 2 years ago, and how I'm sure this was available 2 years ago, but there was a lot of fucked up in this, and I guess he couldn't get it. Dead. Anyway, I'm so sorry I'm bringing up dead people so often, everybody.
Oh, so is that everyone in the Doctor Who community that has died? You said there were 3, or?
Oh no, 2.
Just 2.
Unless you're psychic and there is a third one.
Well, they say they always come in 3, so.
Mm-hmm. I would normally grab my copy of Doctor Who magazine, but I can't, and look it up because they have a little obituary section in there, but I can't because I'm only on the April issue. They send it to you really late. Yeah. Like William Russell is probably in their obituary.
Right. They're probably still talking about the last season of Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Giving their postmortem for that.
I did, however, read. I try to skip sometimes when it comes in the mail, I'll be like, and I'll flip through it, look at the pictures, see what it's generally about. Whenever I'm like, okay, I'm going to read this cover to cover, between the time when I'm alone and have nothing to do in this time of day.
Yeah. And
I tried. I just couldn't. I couldn't deal with the happiness and, oh, it's so great working with so-and-so and blah, 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 blah. I ended up just reading the stuff about Classic Who, and I came across this brilliant article where we wouldn't have Tom Baker if such and such happened. And it's this really funny, chain of events, almost like a Rube Goldberg machine, that if this person had made this decision, then time it would have been timey-wimey and something else would have happened. Yeah. Sorry, it's kind of stupid to talk about it when you don't remember any examples because they're too complicated for me right now. But
Yeah, well, I mean, it's we're all drunk. It's the holidays. I think we can be excused.
In some alternate universe, Tom Baker just ended up being your average fucking construction worker.
Yeah,
and because he wasn't very good, something broke in a building and 500 people died.
I mean, have you read the man's biography?
Oh yeah, I had it. I actually had that, and I had the abridged audio version of it read by Tom Baker himself. And I got to hear him talking about how when he was in school, him and like his fellow students had like wanking parties where they would like sit in a circle. They'd all have their dicks in hand, and they would be like, they would like to say names of like certain girls in their school, and Tom Baker actually said like the name of a really fugly girl that like completely like shrunk their stalks.
Wait a minute. Wait. So this is in his autobiography?
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Was this a self-published autobiography? Did he have
He
an
wrote
editor?
What the hell was it? I'm forgetting the name of it now.
Who on earth is Tom Baker?
Who on earth? Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, golly.
Yeah.
And then there was the Polycarp of Smyrna stuff.
Yeah, and I bet you I can find that audio clip and I'll just tag it on right here.
For a little while I attended wanking school in the house of one of the lads called Rex Barrow. We would gather in a circle and extract our organs. Barrow himself had a prodigious cock and was very proud of it. Even at the slack his member was daunting. But as he began to recite the names of local girls and rock back and forth to our accompanying groans, the miracle took place before our eyes. "Rosy ball, rosy ball," Rex would mutter hoarsely, for libido and hoarseness always go together. "Rosy ball." And as we groaned, his snake flickered into life. "Evelyn Coffee," said someone else, to a new groan of approval, and Rex's prick filled out further, mesmerizing those of us whose tackle remained inert. "Bertha Moonan," I suggested, desperate to kindle the flames further. There was a howl of anger as Rex's dick died. "You daft bugger! Now look what you've done," snarled Derek Houghton. "You've killed his dick." But at Betty Holmes, hissed suggestively by George Beswick, Barrow's member began to recover consciousness, and its head would sway from side to side. Then the names came thick and fast, as we were all seized with lust and grasped the alchemy of girls' names, and realized what a name could do for a flabby dick. Mildred Barton, groan of agreement. Doreen Manning, more groans. Moira Lynch, that was inspirational. And Barrow's knob rose and looked him straight in the eye to eye, you could say. Mary Barlow, ooh, ah, say it again, grunted Barrow. And Wilfred Usher obliged in just the right way, and Barrow shot his lot to cries of admiration from the whole circle. And so it went on as we all helped each other from slackness to stiffness to joy.
He had a thing with he was in seminary school for a minute.
Yeah,
and
for more than a minute. He was there for a while.
Well, yeah.
Because he thought he was gay, so we're like, well, I better pray that away.
Better pray the gay away.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you're in a seminary for years, and you're taking a vow of silence, and you're surrounded by boys your age, and you've got the urges, and you have no access to females at all. Yes, you're going to turn gay.
Oh yeah. Everybody's gay in prison. Yeah.
I remember I kind of dated somebody who was in seminary school, and that is more or less true.
We did get a video Christmas message from Tom. It's almost like the king's message, the king's Christmas message to his country, his fellow Britons.
Yeah.
We got a Tom Baker video wishing everyone a Merry Christmas. I posted it on the Doctor Who Gives a Fuck Facebook page. I mean, yeah, he looks old as fuck, but he's still sharp as a tack.
Tom Baker here, just to wish my fans, all of them,
Every single one of them. I won't tell you the exact number, but you might be surprised. I'd just like to wish them a happy Christmas and a great new year and thank them for all their encouragement over the last, it must be 100 years now, mustn't it? Because, I mean, some of you are not born yesterday. But I'm grateful, really grateful. And if ever we should meet and you want to give me some advice, I'll listen. Yeah. I won't necessarily act on it, but I'll listen.
Should we talk about what they did to the War Games?
I've only heard about it. I have not watched it.
No, I haven't watched it either. I mean, I've seen I've seen most of the relative bits that they did to it. So apparently, for the holidays, they decided to take this 10-part black and white story called The War Games and colorize it and shrink it down to like 90 minutes. And basically, let's find a way to piss off Doctor Who fans even more.
Right. These people just aren't fucking agitated enough.
Now, all right. I think I kind of reacted the same way you did. If, you want people to watch it, just have them sit down and watch it. But you know what? It's really long.
But it's really good.
It is really good, but it's still really long for somebody who's relatively new to Doctor Who to watch.
For a casual fan, that would be a big fucking ask.
And
I'd never get my wife to sit through that.
And it's nasty black and white, not like Criterion Collection black and white.
Mm-hmm.
But if somebody gives it to me on a Blu-ray and says, here, watch this, here it is for free, I'll watch it. Or maybe if I see it in Goodwill for $2, I'll buy it. But nothing makes me want to watch this whatsoever. I'm kind of curious, but on a marketing point, it's brilliant because they really are trying to reel in some of the current and new fans of Doctor Who to come on over to the dark side and see some of the old stuff.
I'm down with that just for the sake of raising funds so that because I want them to do more animation and shit.
Absolutely agree. And I think that we're going to get more animations. The last one was a huge success.
Yeah, I think the Savages is coming.
Yeah, that's right. Sweet. The Savages.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I still haven't watched fucking Toy Make. I got it. I've had it for like a month and a half, and I just haven't sat down. I know you said it was great.
Yeah.
Still haven't sat down and watched it. But for clarity's sake, and because I know there's more to it than what I actually know. What exactly did they do?
Well, the first thing they did is that, of course, they slathered it with new music, which, why do that? I
mean, the music was dated, but that's part of the charm.
Right. So basically, when the War Chief comes in, they introduced a musical motif that is associated with the Master.
No.
Yeah, so they're trying to retcon it that the War Chief
was the fucking master. No.
Yeah, and no,
he wasn't.
No, he was not.
His name was Cochet, and he was a fellow colleague of the Doctor's. So says David A. McGinty.
Rest his soul.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pour one out for David McEntee.
Yeah.
Thank God he wasn't alive to see this travesty.
That man wrote some banger off-canon stuff.
Okay. So and then the second thing that they did was, okay, so we get the bit where they're going to change his appearance, but they give him a choice. And in the original episode 10, we get a series of drawings of various possible incarnations.
I know what you're going to say.
They replace those. Well, first of all, they completely cut the bit where it says, "Oh, he's too fat, isn't he?" Because
that's exactly what I thought. Yeah. Yes,
because that's not PC. We can't have that. But where they replace the drawings with Capaldi, Smith, Tennant, and Whittaker.
No, not a fan of that.
No.
it's more fun to. I mean, What is he saying though when they show him the picture?
Capaldi's too old. Tennant's too thin.
Well, that is kind of funny.
Whitaker's too young, and Smith like, oh no, that won't do at all.
Okay, well, you know what? When I hear it out of context, didn't like, but when you put it into context right there, I appreciate that, and I can see that might be a little, nudge, nudge, whatever. It's fine with me.
As long as it's something that you can turn off and watch it without that bullshit.
Yeah, but and that's I mean, because when he said, "Oh, he's too young," wasn't it technically Peter Davison, or was it Matt Smith?
It was actually Whitaker.
Oh shit! I'm so sorry. Okay. Okay. Well, if Peter Davison was the youngest guy to play Doctor Who, they wouldn't have shown him. I think they would have shown him Jodie Whittaker or Matt Smith.
I was going to say, I think Matt Smith is currently the youngest.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe Shudigatwa might have. He might be tied.
Oh gosh. Okay, now this is turning into like an LSAT problem in my head, and I'm really.
I'm just going to Google this shit.
Yeah.
Whose birthday is in October and who has green eyes?
Yeah, we better Google this before Sean starts smelling toast.
Yeah. So basically,
you know what? In my version, since it's Patrick Troughton, if they showed Jodie Whittaker, he could have said, "No, that won't do at all."
Yeah, exactly. And they passed up.
I wouldn't have done that for real.
She has no ass. That is right. No.
Yeah. Good grief. What's with the karate stance, for fuck's sake? And they completely pass up the opportunity for them to have Colin Baker up there, and it's like, oh, he's too fat, isn't he?
Oh yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah.
It is still Matt Smith, by the way.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So
when they showed Tom Baker, he could say, "What? He got to have 3 wives?" Sorry. Oh, but not at the same time. Okay, sorry.
So and then of course, and this is the one bit that I didn't really mind that much, is they actually constructed a regeneration scene where they took footage of Pat Troughton sitting in a chair. I think it's from The Mind Robber, and he's actually flashing back to like various scenes from his episodes that are all colorized. And they actually show him, and they also show the TARDIS spiraling towards Earth, and then we see the Auton meteorites following him. And we actually see him regenerate into Pertwee, and he actually has a line, and then he's looking at the TARDIS console. And as an obvious reference to the unit dating controversy, the time monitor fluctuates between 1970 and 1980. It cannot decide exactly where he is.
Okay. All right.
That's a cute touch. I like that.
I like
nice.
it. Oh, the old men approve.
Yeah. That one. I mean, you can find that one. You can find that one by itself on YouTube. That clip is available for you to watch on YouTube. So that was pretty cool.
I definitely have to remember this so I can tell Steve about it so he won't watch it.
I don't like that, there are those that are going to say that means that's canon now, that's how it happened and all that. But I like me some Series 6B nonsense.
Yeah.
And I don't like that this kind of squashes that.
Well, I mean, what happens?
I just love the whole Series 6B backstory, and the fact that there is this one canon episode, at least, that being the 2 Doctors, that pulls from all that shit.
Well, we do.
So it's like you can't just out of hand dismiss it.
Right. I mean, you could still fit it in because they fade from him going, "No, you can't do this to me. No, no, no," and they fade from there to him sitting in the chair in the TARDIS. So maybe you can still fit that in. I don't know.
I get. Yeah, you could. I mean, there's a scene, right after that scene cuts away, it's, that's when he gets approached by the CIA. And
if you know what Chris is talking about, then you're an old man like us.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
I remember when we were the young whippersnappers.
Yeah, I guess I was assuming that everybody knew what 6 feet means.
Well, anyone who still listens to this podcast knows what it is.
I would hope.
Yes.
All right.
Hello, fellow time travelers, and welcome to the Doctor Who Target Book Club podcast, the only podcast to discuss, in story order, all the Doctor Who novelizations. My name is Tony Whitt, and every 2 weeks or so, I'm joined by a 2 to 3 person discussion panel, including our so-called expert who's been a Who fan since 1979. That would be me. We also get the views of intermediate, casual, and novice fans who either have never seen the show or who have never read these books until these podcasts, including
Dalton Hughes
and
Alison Fitz-Seyfried.
You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you find good podcasts, or even ones like ours. You're listening to the Doctor Who Gives a Fuck podcast. Enjoy your travels.
All right, so let's talk about Joy to the World.
All right. Who wants to go
start
first? I don't know. I feel like this is going to be a contentious one.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Okay,
all right.
Go for it, Chris.
I fucking hated this so much. Time Hotel. Like this, just everything about this episode was like insulting. Like it was insultingly bad. Like just a time hotel. Oh, look, we've got the cute little submarine door, and haha, the Eiffel Tower has this tilted door. Oh, that's so crazy. But we're just running through this random MacGuffin machine, and they throw Joy at you, and then at the end of the episode, you're supposed to give this massive crap about her. That they develop this character that works at the hotel, and then just kind of throw her away. Like for a second there, I thought she was going to end up being like the carry-on companion, like after the Christmas companion's Joy, and I thought this gal was going to be the new companion to go on into the season, but apparently not. They just worked her up just to fucking throw her away. And then like you get like 10 seconds of Joy, and then it's fast forward to, oh, I left my mom on her deathbed, because I had to work, and I feel really crappy about that. And it's like, maybe you should. But she turns into a star that she had in a briefcase that was in the hotel, and everything's magic now. And she turns into a star and shoots off into the sky, and she turns her mom into a star too, and everybody's happy, and it's fucking Bethlehem year 1. Except, sorry to break this to you guys, but Jesus was born in year 0. That's where the whole calendar fucking started, not 0001. That was his first birthday. Fuck, this episode's so bad.
Oh dear. Yeah. Okay. Well, I've got some notes. I don't know what. Sean, do you have anything you want to?
Well, I didn't really write down any notes, because if I really like something or really don't like something, then I start making notes, because it's like I have to write down these things that may or may not be memorable. However, here there are lots of bits to me that were memorable. First of all, I just want to counter argument with something that Chris said. Time Hotel? You bet the fuck if this shit existed, people would go to it. Are you kidding me? People spend thousands of dollars to have used to anyway, to go to Disney World and do that Star Wars shit.
No, I agree, but just as story goes, that is like just your lazy ass writing is all.
Well, I mean, why does the hotel exist? Who knows? Who fucking cares? Why doesn't the doctor try to close it down? Because that's something that he would have done. Because it's like, why the fuck are you?
Okay, wait.
Why the fuck are you messing with time like this?
Yeah,
hold on.
Whoever made this quote unquote time hotel had to be technologically on a level with the Time Lords.
I understand.
I think we'd have heard of them.
But this has happened so many times. At this point, I don't care. Where they've just made shit up like this, and I roll with it. And the thing is, when it's a serious episode,
but there's
if it's a serious episode, I get a little bit like you guys. But this is a Christmas episode, and you can't really judge Christmas episodes by the same standards as you would when you're kind of expecting to watch a show called Space Babies and really crossing your fingers. It's not about space.
I submit to you that even judging this based on like if you judge it against other Christmas episodes, I would still declare this one shit.
Oh, this is number 4. I actually ranked them.
Oh, wow.
I think this might... Okay. I really like Voyage of the Damned. I like... Is it just called Christmas Carol? The Christmas Carol one?
A Christmas Carol.
A Christmas Carol. And I like the Wedding of Winter Song. River Song. That one. That one is a hidden gem.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think this is going to be number 4. And also, Sir Chris,
yes.
I want to point out that her mother died of COVID. She couldn't go visit her mother because she had to work. She couldn't go visit her mother because she couldn't be there.
Okay.
They don't say COVID. There's things in this that they don't mention.
Actually, they don't say COVID because Darlene. I was talking with Darlene, and she's like, "Yeah, they didn't actually say COVID, but she's like, I had to follow the rules, and I couldn't be with my mom in person because I had to follow the rules."
Yeah.
All right, I glazed over that, but yeah, I only watched this once. That's.
I mean, when they cut to her hospital room, and they said such and such hospital 2020. I see that.
Oh, nice! I didn't notice that.
I see that Moffat has picked up Chibnall's bad habit of leaving
the title
place cards
for
every fucking time
I don't know.
Space.
I don't know what you're talking about. I seriously don't know what you're talking about. I think we may have talked about it before, but it's not an era of Doctor Who that I've examined very closely, so I really don't care. So let's move on. Sorry.
Okay. I mean, we even get one for Bethlehem with the misdated date, as if this episode didn't bang us on the fucking head enough with the ending of this episode.
Yeah, I don't understand. What do you mean banged us on the head?
It's like, okay, so so the Doctor looks up, is like, oh, of course, and then we pan down, and it's like, of fucking course, it's fucking Bethlehem. You don't need to tell us. We already know.
Yeah, it's the little scene of Bethlehem, and here's the star, and here's like the 3 wise men's camels standing outside the manger, and yeah.
So joy to the world.
We didn't need it spelled out to us, and we especially didn't need it spelled out incorrectly.
Wait, I don't understand what you mean. We don't. Well, she was the North Star. We see different people.
No, Ruby, not the North Star,
or whatever the North Star, the Star
Christmas
of Bethlehem.
Star.
The Star of Bethlehem.
Yeah. And
why is that a twist,
I mean, I think it's the fact that they use the title cards for all this shit that it's like they shouldn't have to explain to us that whole scene was supposed to be depicting the birth of Christ and the Star of Bethlehem. It's like, I'm not so fucking stupid. I need that explained to me.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right.
But they've got to put a title card up to clue you in on it. And then what's even worse is they go and put the title cards wrong. That's like, because Jesus wasn't born in year 1 of the calendar.
Then let me ask you
the 0 point of the calendar is his birth. He was born year 0. He is year 0.
Let's pretend in the beginning of the episode where we see the Doctor go with the pumpkin latte and the toasties, which sounds really good right now for some reason. They have a title card for each of those, like London, England, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
hotel,
we get the
1940.
Gist. Yeah, I would admit that we don't need any of those. We don't need.
But
it's just like, come on.
The years, just the years, maybe.
We got it.
The city.
No,
even on that one, the whole thing was.
You're treating your audience like fucking morons.
Okay.
I mean, and not to mention, as far as the narrative is concerned, for what's going on in those scenes, it's not important to know the exact year. it's sufficiently obvious that this is a completely different time period from the present and the other ones that he just visited.
Absolutely.
Without having to explain to us that, this was Ireland in 1852. It's like, it's just enough to know that it was somewhere sometime else. Don't need the details. It's not important.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have a quote from Stephen Moffat that I pulled. This was actually from SFX magazine, which they always obscured the actual title of the magazine, so it always looks like it's Sex Magazine. But this is from the December 2024 version issue of FSF. I cannot say it. Sex Magazine. Stephen Moffat says, "Well, here's the pitch that got me the job of writing."
Don't.
Story.
Don't. You're too drunk for this.
Okay.
I mean, friends gonna be friends, okay? I don't want you to feel bad later on.
Shit right there.
Okay.
I'm not gonna let you do this, Jim.
Jesus Christ, it's a fucking intervention here. Okay, in just about every hotel room you've been in, there's a locked door. It's weird, but there always is. Okay, we're about to blow apart the truth on that. Okay, he's acting like this is like the biggest fucking mystery there is. Fuck no, it's not. It's just a door to the next suite.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, if you were vacationing with your kids and you got 2 consecutive rooms that were next to each other, then the hotel, as a courtesy, would unlock that door so you would have access to both suites. It's not a fucking mystery at all. No one was fucking wondering where this mystery door is, Stephen Moffat. No one fucking cares.
No one who's been to a proper orgy, anyways.
Or a Doctor Who convention.
Same thing.
Yeah, pretty much. I got my first blowjob at a Star Trek convention.
Oh my
I believe
gosh!
You told me that story.
Do I have to say it again? Was she green?
No, but I was.
Oh. Dun. Thank you for coming here tonight.
So anyway, to complete this quote. It says, "We're about to blow apart the truth of that. In the far, far future, there's a place called the High Time Hotel, and the Time Hotel has realized something brilliant, which is following the discovery of time travel. They have the opportunity to sell all the rooms they failed to sell the last time, so they have built extensions into more or less every hotel room in history, and you get access to it occasionally." Okay, I don't know what the fuck he's saying here, but anyway.
That actually sounds better than what they did, if I understood it right.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more like Ray Bradbury did.
JP getting a blowy at a Star Trek convention's more interesting than what they did.
Oh God. Okay. All right. So now it's time to play. How many Doctor Who episodes did this one rip off?
I wasn't even counting on that.
I wasn't. Yeah, I didn't notice. I mean,
God,
that to me.
That's why I'm here. This is why I exist. So
hold on before you go. I want to think about this for a second.
Okay.
Because
I
haven't watched it with this frame of mind on. So
yeah.
Are you thinking
nothing really
classic,
jumps out immediately though?
Classic Who or current Who?
This is going to be mostly New Who.
Okay. I'm told that you can't say New Who anymore. It has to be current Who. That New Who is like, I don't know.
Well, it's like 15 years old for
thing. Yeah.
I know there's something. It's in my subconscious somewhere. There's one of those little inside out guys yelling at me right now.
Should I put you guys out of your misery here and just tell you what?
Yeah.
Okay. So first of all, we've got the one-time story companion who sacrifices herself and gets turned to stardust. Just like Kylie Minogue.
Yeah. I did notice that when we were watching it. Yep.
And pretty much every, well, except for Karen Gillan, every female companion that Steve Moffat writes about, he turns them into one thing or another. Or am I just thinking of Clara? No, Bill.
Yeah.
And I don't remember. A Cyberman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was his last companion? Steve Moffat.
That was Bill.
Oh, it was Bill? Oh,
Yeah.
I thought there was another one after her. Okay.
Well, yeah. No, that was it. Okay, we have the Doctor going the long way around, just like he did
Okay.
in both the Big Bang and the Power of Three.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, I remember one. I know one. Can I?
Yeah.
I'm raising my hand. You can't see it.
Yes.
Mavity. He used the word mavity. He used it really briefly in like a blah 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 when it was, but because I had the subtitles on, I noticed.
Yeah.
It.
I think they've worked it into every episode since they started.
I think so. So and okay. So all right. So the Doctor. Okay. I will tell you this. The bit where the Doctor is in the hotel for a year and he's hanging out with Anita and they have like their weekly table night or whatever. That was like the most interesting part of this whole fucking episode for me.
Yeah.
That I thought was well done.
Absolutely.
I was really I was very vested with this. I mean, because you have a bit of romantic tension there, and because I mean she was obviously attracted to him, but he kind of kept his distance, and he kept because he's a Time Lord, and I don't have time for this and everything. But yeah, it's just that bit was bit, but where the fuck did he get that access code for the briefcase?
You can't. This is another thing.
Bootstrapping.
Yeah. No, wait. Wait. Put a pin in that, please. I want to go back.
You can't question this shit, Sean.
I just want to say, JB, what you were talking about. I totally agree, 100%. Those were wonderful moments. Yeah, best of Cutie Gotchwa I've seen. I can't. I'm high, so I can't pronounce his name.
I think the only really other decent bit of this episode was him basically chewing himself out. It's like no wonder no one likes you or cares for you because you always pull this shit. And I thought that was very, very well done.
And I did think, wouldn't it be awesome if she was the next companion? But it didn't go that way, which is unfortunate.
No, I did.
But she will be. She will. I'm sure she'll be featured again in some form of media or other.
Yeah. But I mean, because it was sort of a. Yeah, it was very. It was pleasant. It was nice. It was sort of like it was.
Absolutely.
It was. We got some character there. We got some nice character, work from Ncuti Gatwa.
It was better than I've ever seen anything with River Song in it. I'll be completely honest, except for the lyrics of River Song.
It's been the best. That little scene was probably the best character work that's been in any of Ncuti Gatwa's episodes.
Yeah.
And that's part of my gripe with it, though, is they did all this for a bit character that they just throw away at the end of the episode.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you there. I agree.
But I care. Wait, but I care. Yeah, go ahead.
Maybe if she died. Wait, I'm gonna go back on that. Maybe if she died, I would agree with you. But I don't think they have to she has to be the next companion or anything like that.
No.
In fact, I wish they would just do like they did with what's his name in the first season. I can't remember. He was only in 2 episodes. He was in the Dalek, and then they brought him into the Adam.
Oh,
they brought him into the long game. So he was like a companion for just 3 minutes, and that was it. If they could do something like that with her, it would be really fun.
Well, I mean, they gave her
but not make her evil like Adam.
Well, no, I mean, they kind of gave her the happy ending because she ended up getting a job at the Time Hotel.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, she's not dead. Theoretically, she could show back up again, but I don't get the impression that's going to happen.
But she had more character. She had more development than fucking Joy, who was supposed to have been the focus of this fucking episode.
Yeah.
We barely got to know this girl.
And they give this big emotional thing with all the music and shit at the end, and you're supposed to be heartbroken about what's going on with Joy, and I'm just like, I don't really give a fuck.
Okay, I made this realization maybe about halfway through the episode. I think I don't want to say halfway, but more further than that. And then something that he said and she said confirmed it, is that, guys, she checked into the hotel to commit suicide.
Okay.
All right. Walk me through this.
I did not get that at all, man.
No, I didn't pick that up either. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying if you're right, I whiffed on that.
First of all, I realize that we don't see her brandishing any pills or weapons or any kind, when they always do that in movies, like, oh, they take the pills out and they put them by the bedside. We don't see that. Granted, but they're not going to do that. They're not going to show that. And also, they wouldn't have the big, what I call the reveal near the end, where the doctor's talking about who rents a hotel room like that. What kind of and he says, I can tell more from a hotel room that a person rents as opposed to even their own house. I don't think that's true. I don't agree because I don't get to choose my hotel rooms.
It's a shitty analogy, but
yeah, I mean, I could when I was like, traveling, and she says something like, yes, it's true. Like he said, why would you? I think he asks her, he says, I don't understand why you would choose a room like that to spend Christmas Eve. And given the fact that she was unable to see her mother on Christmas Eve, Christmas Eve when she died, she's depressed about that. She makes allusions to being depressed ever since her mom died. When she checks in, the receptionist asks her, single, and she says, could you tell? I mean, there were things like that, and they're dropped here and there like little Easter eggs. Yeah. And it kind of just occurred to me about halfway through, and then when he said that, I'm like, oh. And of course, in the end, does she end up dying? No. But does she does she cease being human? Yes.
Yeah. But of course, it's a Moffat episode, so no one actually dies.
Yeah, no one dies. Come on.
They just kind of fucking start us.
This doesn't work with
I agree with you, of course. But you know what, Statler and Waldorf? I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You like this episode, don't you?
I know. You know what? And there were other things like we get to see this doctor get really upset when someone dies. When he did something wrong or didn't make a realization about something, which happens with the Lionel Richie guy.
Trev. I know exactly who you mean.
That guy,
Trev.
the poor, that guy, the poor bartender, who, by the way, when they walk into that bar and the bartender's there, I thought they were, because I watched this I didn't watch it with commercials. I'm just used to watching shit with commercials. I thought, oh, is this a Di Serono ad? It looked like one of those, no, nobody, okay.
So anyway, let's get back to the fucking bootstrap paradox, which Moffat explained very badly, again!
Well, at least he didn't have to break the fourth wall and slap us with it.
Yeah, whatever the doctor was fucking saying, I just didn't follow it all because he was very fast. Blah, 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 blah. Bootstrap paradox, whatever. I didn't have the fucking captions on, whatever. So
I mean, that's basically all he did. He just said, yeah, it's a bootstrap paradox, whatever.
Because there's no fucking way he got that code just hearing from it, because his future self had to have gotten the code from something. He can't have just pulled it out of his ass like that.
That's why it's a paradox. Where did that information had to generate from somewhere?
Yeah. So this
I think it was me because it was really, really close to my debit card pin.
Oh dear. Okay, but this also brings, this also harkens back to Sean's favorite episode of all time, The Big Bang, where how did fucking Matt Smith get himself out of that box?
How dare you, sir? Mm-hmm. I thought this was in the contract that we don't bring that up.
All's fair in love and war. So, anyway, what else we got? We've got, so the doctor's staying in one place. That also harkens back to Power of Three, although he's much more patient. But this is the thing. The doctor, Ncuti Gatwa's doctor, tells Anita that he doesn't really stay in one place for that long, completely forgetting the fact that he told Tenet 3.0 to do exactly that.
Wait, I don't understand your point. He tells her, I don't stay in one place that long. But then he told David Tennant what exactly that?
To do that, to basically, you need to fucking take a break and just stay, you know.
Okay.
Basically, live with Donna and her family. And apparently, according to the novelization of The Giggle, the doctor buys Donna's family that house.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So, you know, he completely forgets that he told himself that you need to slow the fuck down and you need to stay in one place because you need therapy. And I guess the doctor needs some more therapy. I know I sure as hell need some more therapy after this fucking year.
But I find it upsetting the number of innocent people that die in this, as I said before.
But they don't fucking die. They get turned to fucking stardust.
So they don't really die. Okay.
No.
Yeah, her mom doesn't even die because apparently stars
right.
can go back in time and suck people out of the timeline.
Well, no, they don't go back in time because she became the star. You know, in 0001, which is actually 0000. So she's been around all this fucking time, and then she basically turns her mom to stardust. We also get a bit of silence in the library Force of the Dead because we get the dead speaking on your Bluetooth.
Come on, but it's a Christmas episode, okay? Nobody can die. And the people who don't, quote unquote, die get to have promotions.
Killed the doctor on Christmas.
Or become
how many
stars. Yeah. And we can't have Joy taking a gun out of her purse and placing it on the dresser.
Oh, she would not use a gun. She would use pills.
Okay.
No, I think we already established the fact that Joy would have used pills to off herself.
You know, I seem to think that in my true crime podcast listening, I think I learned that.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that all women would use pills. Jeez, JB.
Well, I don't think Joy wants to leave a bloody mess in the hotel room. She's too polite for that.
Yeah. And people do that too.
On this.
She's going to completely shit the bed when she expires in bed, but
it's better than having to clean up blood and brain matter all over the wall. But you know what they call it? I just got almost finished watching season 1 of Fargo. They have people they call in for that. Usually they're called remediation services, I think.
Finally on my list, we have the Runaway Bride because we have Anita, who is the de facto companion for the first 10 minutes of this shit. We have Anita telling the doctor that he needs to find someone because you shouldn't be traveling alone.
What about the part where they are watching fireworks because it's called Guy Fawkes Night or Guy Fawkes Day? I don't know what they actually call it. But
remember the 5th of November.
Yes. And he's kind of not feeling well, and and she says, "Girlfriend? No. Boyfriend? No." And so she doesn't know this about him yet. She's known him for almost a year. Yeah.
And
or am I a person thinking that it's important for people to know my sexuality if I'm working for them for so long?
I think it might be you then, because I don't really care.
Well, you guys are going to say that, but I don't know. I think you guys are really bashing this one really hard. You're stoning it like St. Stephen.
Well, no. I think Chris. I think Chris has worse opinions of it than I do. I will say.
Yeah, give me another rock. I'll put it down.
Okay, I will say that I think overall that this is better than most of what we got last season, but it's still way below par.
Mm-hmm.
My issue is it's a very fucking depressing episode because we did not need the slap in the face, which was the depressing realism of the 2020 COVID pandemic. We didn't need to fucking do that in Xmas. It doesn't make the character of Joy interesting. Yeah, you feel bad for her, but nothing is really done. And she's barely in this show at all. So who fucking cares?
If you rewatch it and think that she planned to commit suicide, then it puts a whole new thing on it.
Okay.
But how are they going to do that? If they're not going to mention someone being fat?
Okay, but that
BBC,
makes
they're not going to mention suicide.
But that makes her sacrifice selfish because she was going to offer herself anyway. It doesn't make it selfless.
She wasn't going to offer herself to be a star, and she's not dying. She's a star.
Okay, she's
joy to the world.
She's literally fucking joy to the fucking world.
She's
How'd
literally
you get that thing in her?
I'm sorry. Maybe I'm making up my own headcanon, but fucking Stephen Moffat did that when he writes like half his shit. So it's never going to be brought up again in the show. No one's ever going to even bring up Joy. So to me, that's what happened. And you know what, Chris? The next time we watch Inside Number 9, the end of that episode, you're going to be like, "What happened?" They don't explain it, but sometimes you have to go with what your first impulse is that she's alive and reigning, she's a queen, she's a goddess, whatever it might be, but she's still a sentient being.
Well, she's kind of an amalgamation of a lot of beings. And this is another thing.
She has those dead people from the hotel there, and more importantly, she has her mom there.
Okay. This is starting to get philosophical. In a sense, she does die because she's not her individual self anymore. She is something different now.
Right.
So the thing that was Joy, whatever the hell her name was, is gone. It's dead.
Okay. But I will bet you that this has been done before in Doctor Who in one form of media or another.
Voyage of the fucking Damned.
Yeah. Okay. What happens to Kylie Minogue?
Yeah, she gets turned to Stardust.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
They give some different techno jargon for it.
Right, but she had much more character development, and you actually cared for this character because you got a sense of who she was, her station in life, and she took an active role in helping those people trying to get out of the disaster. She felt like she had no choice but to sacrifice herself in order to save the Doctor. Whereas with Joy, the spin that you're taking with it, Sean, that she didn't have really anything to live for because she felt so gutted that the fact that she had to follow the rules, and so therefore she was not able to be with her mother in her final moments, really messed her up. She thought nothing of sacrificing herself and becoming a star. She thought nothing of it. She's just like, oh, okay, I'm just going to do this now.
Pretty easy choice to make if you were planning on offing yourself.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, well, I can still off myself, but I can save a bus full of people at the same time. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to do this anyways.
Yeah.
So, you agree with my suicide theory?
Me?
I like your suicide theory. I think that gives this story more dimension that Stephen Moffat probably intended.
Yeah.
Right. But
because
you can't, in a show on Christmas.
Instead, we have to make her a quirky character because because who the hell has a conversation with a housefly in a hotel room? Oh, look at me. I'm so quirky here. I'm going to talk to a fucking horsefly here.
I won't be lonely anymore.
Jesus, fuck.
By the way, I didn't think that hotel room was all that bad as the Doctor made it to be. I have to say that as well. Did we talk about this already?
Yeah, we did.
I wouldn't
sorry.
kill myself in it.
Yeah. I'd probably go to I don't know. Got enough money. I'd probably go to the Ritz-Carlton or something. They'd send in a bunch of I don't know, the cleaning crew on the show would be gone in half a day, and they'd be renting it out to Harry and Meghan in no time.
Yeah, but like I said, we didn't need the whole bit where she's pounding on the Doctor's chest and telling her that my mom died and I wasn't there because I followed the rules and all that and everything, and it's just we don't want to tune into Doctor Who at Christmas to watch fucking horrible reality.
Okay, okay, all right. I understand.
Especially after the last year.
I can only imagine what Chris was going through because not to bring this down, but Chris, your mom died this year.
Yeah.
And so I can imagine that this had to have stirred up something.
The year I've had, you would not believe the level of disassociation I can muster up. Yeah, no, I was kind of thinking of that. Yeah, this is making me think about some unpleasant shit. But I wasn't so much personalizing it. Like I was thinking this is probably some unpleasant shit for a lot of people. You know,
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
everybody's been through death in their life. You know, the death's a part of life. Yeah, I was, aside from all my other complaints about this episode, after the year we've all had, I really could have used some light and fluffy on this one. That would have been great. Like the Christmas Carol one, something fucking whimsical and
Oh, that was fucking depressing too, because the fucking woman only gets let out once a year, and then she fucking dies. You called that uplifting?
Okay, fair.
Okay, Chris.
But at least then it's like fairy tale-ish. It's
absolutely,
you know.
Yes, I want it to be fairy tale-ish.
Exactly.
Fairy tale-ish. And to me, this was, and it was, but it's not. It's okay. Do you ever see the movie Slumdog Millionaire?
Yeah.
No.
That whole movie is a fairy tale, but it's not filmed like a fairy tale fantasy. It's filmed like a real movie.
Gritty realism, yeah.
Here, it's real. There's no magic happening. The doctor is just like the doctor when he was Pertwee. He's just not leaving this hotel room because he has to earn money. But that whole thing is it's filmed like a fairy tale with the bright colors, like almost like a Tim Burton-esque. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And he looks really good in that light blue shirt. I said that already, didn't I?
No, you did not.
Oh, okay. Really good on him. Yeah.
That was in your head.
Okay.
I got to ask you this, guys. Okay, so when the bit where they're like way back in the past and the dinosaur swallows the briefcase, who else was waiting for Adric to show up and kill all the dinosaurs?
Actually, that would have been really cool.
That would have been an interesting twist.
And they don't even have to show that it's a spaceship, or there maybe be a little tiny thing like an Easter egg just in the background.
Yeah.
And then there's like a suspenseful bit where they're scuffling with the briefcase and they're trying to get to the door to get out of there.
And there's a star that gets left behind.
By the
I was
way,
gonna say, yeah, you just have like a skull sitting there with like a gold star like stuck in it or something.
by the way, what a kind of shitty thing for the Time Hotel to book a bamboo luxury thing right where the T-Rex is, and they didn't take the precaution to ensure that didn't happen to their guests. I'm filing a complaint right now. No, seriously. Well, you didn't tell me I could die, so I want a refund.
Here's another one. The chick on the train.
Yes.
Like that was all of that was unnecessary.
Yeah.
Like that was just wasted time. And I sat there like the last time they showed her when he was like running through with the rope and she was reading the letter.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at Tori. Tori was watching it with me. I looked at her and I was like, wait for it. She's gay.
Oh, yeah.
And sure as shit, like 10 seconds later, he says something about the letter and she's like, it's for a woman. I'm like, oh, yeah.
I have, in the recent past, rolled my eyes at that kind of shit. And I did a little bit. But after watching like TikTok videos of young people talking about representation and all that, yeah, I feel different now.
Okay, we get a really needless Ruby cameo in this.
Yeah, I honestly checked out so much at the end of last season, I forgot what the fuck is supposed to have happened to Ruby.
I did too. I actually had to stop and think about it because I think I was just subconsciously thinking, oh, she probably turned into a atom or a star, or she's living her life in space. You know, oh, she's at home. Oh, thank goodness.
She just decided.
Girl, you survived.
Was that it? Did she just decide I'm done?
She found her mom.
Oh, that's
right.
Yes, that's right. Yes. Like I said, I checked out on that crap, man. I watched it and I was done thinking about it.
This is how we are. Okay, we can remember probably if we took turns every single Tom Baker episode or Tom Baker story.
Yeah.
But we can't remember what happened a year ago.
No, I could do the dialogue for you on a couple of Tom Baker stories.
Yeah. Okay, so, I mean, we watched this, Dorley and I watched this on Christmas night after we had our day out on Christmas, and we watched it, and we haven't had a palate cleanser. So we ended up watching the Christmas Story sequel from last year. And I will tell you.
Did you like it?
I'll tell you. This was much more entertaining. It was much more entertaining and much more heartfelt. It was good. I was surprised because we thought we were going to. Okay, yeah, this is probably going to suck, and we'll probably turn it off after like 15 minutes or so. But it was good. It was very much in the style and spirit of the original movie. You know, because we have Peter Billingsley who played Ralphie, all grown up. The movie is set in the 1970s. And he basically speaks in the voice of Gene Shepard, who was the narrator and the guy who wrote the first movie. And it was
R.I.P. very tragically, by the way. Oh no, I'm thinking of Bob Clark, the director, also died tragically. Right. I think. Yeah.
And so basically the premise is that it's in the 70s. He lives in the south side of Chicago. He's married. He did well because the wife was pretty fine. And he has 2 kids, and he's taken a year off to write the great sci-fi novel. And he's like trying to get these publishers to buy his novel. And it's a 2,000-page novel. And it's really not that good. And then
do they do a big finish and have somebody play his dad?
Well, that's the thing, because so basically, like his mom and dad were supposed to come over to Chicago for Christmas, and he gets a call from his mom, and the dad dies.
Okay.
So basically,
this is
I believe that the actor's dead, right?
Yeah, Darren McGavin. Yeah, the Night Stalker.
And the lady that played his mom has died since that movie, I think.
Right, and actually she wasn't in the movie because I guess she was too ill to take part because she died shortly after the movie was released.
Okay. Interesting. Okay.
So they got for the mom, they cast I think it's Julie Haggerty, the girl who was from Airplane.
His girlfriend?
Yes.
The main, okay.
Yeah, the main character. Yeah, she plays the mom.
Oh, okay.
And it works. It works. It works because it's it's several years later.
You have sold me on this movie very much.
It's
and
not
I may
bad.
even watch it tonight. Okay.
Me and Tori watched it about a year or 2 ago. It wasn't bad. It's all right.
Yeah, it was, and you know, it's very much like the first movie because he has his sort of he daydreams about these certain scenarios and everything, and so basically he goes back to the home in Indiana, and so it's his mission to try to make it the best Christmas, you know, the way his old man used to do it. And so there's like a lot of callbacks to the original film. Yeah. We actually get to see his friend played by the same actors. But yeah, it was very heartfelt. I thought it was very well done. I won't spoil it for you anymore, Sean, but yeah, I would, I would check it out. It's on Max if you've got Max.
As Christmas movies go, it's pretty good.
I do not have Max, but I may just do, I don't know, I'll probably just rent it on Amazon. That's what I should do from now on. Yeah. Instead of signing up for the shit and then finding out that, I wanted to watch that one movie and now I've been paying for it for 3 months because now I got Rocket Money. Okay, sponsors, Rocket Money. And Okay. Yeah. Very good. So, I'm definitely going to check this out.
Yeah, so we
sold it excellently.
Yeah, so we got more out of that than the fucking Doctor Who Christmas special.
Yeah.
Like I said, it wasn't. I mean, like I said, it was okay. I mean, the bits. I mean, I like the 10 minutes that we get him. The year in the hotel, and the argument with himself. Those were good bits. Shooty is still. I mean, I still think he's a decent doctor. They're just not giving him the scripts. He's just not getting. He gets moments there.
That's what they said about Jodie.
That's what they said about Peter Capaldi.
And Capaldi.
It's the writing, stupid. And I saw. I mean, they didn't have this on after the episode aired, but you can go on YouTube and see the trailer for the next season. Just random. The only thing I fucking remember about it was that there was this cartoon character that comes out of the movie screen, and the new companion bitching to the doctor about "Get me home," and that's all I remember.
There's a new. I saw on the Facebook. There's a new companion.
Yes,
she's pretty. There's a picture I saw of her and the doctor at the TARDIS, and they're both wearing blue, I think.
Okay.
Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah. Well, it's the character's name is Belinda.
Oh, I thought that was the actress's name. Okay.
No, it's Belinda. No, the actress. She was actually in Boom. She was the female soldier. In Boom.
Oh, that's the Moffat episode from last season. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, yes. I didn't realize she's a repeat.
Very cool.
Well, the actress is. She's not playing the same character, but the actress is. So we don't know exactly when this is going to. When we're going to get Doctor Who again. I heard January. I also heard March. So who fucking knows at this point when it's going to happen? But we will return and talk about those episodes at the time. But in the meantime...
Oh, sir, wait, hold on.
Yeah.
You said we will return?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. All right. That's good.
I've had some time to think about this, and I think I don't want to do this once a month anymore. But I think we can get together every so often, and if we're not reviewing new episodes, every so often, because I miss you guys.
What about once a week for 5 weeks? Is that okay?
Once a week for 5 weeks? God, no.
when there's a season.
Well, what we do is because usually because I think the seasons are 8 episodes long, so we watch 4 of them. Record a podcast, watch the other 4.
Okay.
Do a podcast.
See, I don't pay attention to that. I just hear from either you or Eric. Okay, we're going to talk about so and so. Sleep No More on whatever date. Okay. Cool.
You guys. Yeah, I don't know how you guys do that podcast, but for this one, it's minimal effort, as if you couldn't tell by listening to this. But it's minimal effort. And
this will be in the documentary when we're dead. The making of Doctor Who podcasting.
Yeah, I'm waiting for someone to do that documentary on Doctor Who podcasting, and they'll talk about all the Doctor Who podcast, and they'll have me in a chair somewhere talking about when I started Who 37 in 2013.
You know what? You underestimate this. There was somebody that made a documentary about a Scrabble competition.
Yeah.
Okay? And followed 3 or 4 people around, and that was nominated for an Oscar. If a filmmaker could take something like Doctor Who podcasting and turn it into a documentary and have people like it, fuck yeah, and kind of express the way we feel about doing this.
Maybe we could do this. We could do this. Think of how much we could shit talk Shapansky.
Oh yeah, well they'll never talk to us. We'll never get them for an interview with us. But if we can get someone outside to do it, and I am totally in. Contact me, jbbridge@gmail.com. Yeah, I'll be on your fucking documentary talking shit about Shapansky and
There's a fucking 10-minute clip of JB just going off.
Unfortunately, I probably couldn't really talk about what truly happened without talking libel or slander against some people. Is it when you talk, is it slander? When you write it, it's libel or vice versa? It's a legal question. One of you guys a lawyer?
There's the bit in Spider-Man, the first Spider-Man movie, where J. Jonah Jameson explains it, and I will add that clip.
You are. That's why I just heard about it because it was on a podcast. Yes.
Yeah.
If you speak it, it's slander. If you write it, it's libel.
Okay.
If you write it in lube, it's ditty.
Okay, so I don't want to be sued for slander. I don't got no money.
Yeah.
I got 5 cats. Here, go ahead, take it, Constable.
Yeah, 5 cats now?
Oh, yeah, we've got, we've got Blue, Walter, Chione, Cabby, and that fucking bitch Moira that I kind of wish, I don't know.
Moira.
She's such a fucking bitch. I mean, she follows me in every room, but really, she doesn't like to be petted. She doesn't like to be picked up.
Is she a void cat?
Yes, she's
cat?
a long-haired black cat.
Yeah,
yes.
That's totally black cat personality right there.
But I've got 2 other black cats and another. Well, my one black cat fucking loves the hell out of me. The other one's a fucking idiot. But the one we had before that, Shada, she loved everybody.
No.
But yeah.
Not the Shada.
Oh no, she's had enough poured out. The bitch is dead for you. She died before COVID.
Oh man. 4 fucking years. That's more like almost 5 years ago.
She died within like 3 weeks of my grandma, and I remember the cat dying more than my grandma.
Oh dear God.
I'm so sorry, everybody.
No, you know what? I've had, like, when my dog Luna died, I mean, there have been very few people in my life that have died that approach that level of despair for me. You get attached to some pets. I mean, they're friends, they're family members.
They are completely family. Yeah, I mean, Darlene and I were talking today about we're working with this lawyer to get like our wills done and everything sorted out, and we're discussing what we're going to do with Islington and Coraline if anything happens to both of us, and it's like, well, we don't want to put them in a shelter. Again, we don't want them to have to do that. And like, well, who do we know that can take them? Well, it's like there's really no one that we know, at least in New Orleans, that I think is emotionally and financially able to take on 2 cats in case something happens to us. So I know we're gonna have to talk about this because we need to get this shit done soon because we needed to get our life straightened up before January 20th. Because who knows what the fuck's going to happen after that? 4 more years. I don't know.
Wait, I totally thought that you were going to ask me and Chris to be godfathers for your cats.
Oh, God, no. No.
I thought all that was leading to a question. Like, I was just wondering, could you guys be godfathers for my cats? You take one and you take one.
No. Although I am leaving you shit in case something happens to me.
Okay, well, put it in the will. Don't tell me about it. I don't want to be blamed for anything in case anything happens.
What I think he's trying to tell you is, if the price is high enough,
well,
trust me, it's not worth it.
I don't know if I died today. I wonder who would know that if I have every single available Doctor Who DVD, how much they could make. I think my parents would just bring it to Goodwill and dump it. And
I'm legitimately worried about that happening. Like when my kids and my wife have no use for any of this shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I don't even care. I have a few things that are worth a little bit of money, but not a lot, really. I've put some work into curating my little collection of shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I want it to go to someone who would at least appreciate it. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, I've got this life-size Adam West Batman that I think it's worth at least $2,000, if not more. I have my life-size Darth Vader, which is almost done. All I got to do is I got to get a cape and a cloak for it, and I'm going to order that after the holidays. But I spent $3,000 on this thing.
Yeah.
You know, just getting all the pieces and everything. It's insane, but this is that's my midlife crisis. That's my red sports car. That's what that is.
I listened to this podcast called Monster Party, and it's all guys our age. There's 4 of them. They're collectors of like old toys of stuff like Batman and all that. They're great, and that's exactly what their philosophy is. You know, they went to Japan. They don't travel except for to Japan. Sorry. But they're great. Monster Party. Totally recommend it.
I'll have to check it out. But yeah, because I've started buying like old Star Wars action figures because I stupidly got rid of them when like in one of the moves from because it's like I should have kept that shit.
Oh, I had some stuff when I was a kid that probably would have been worth mint when the new movies came out and all that shit was hotter than hell. I could have made some money if I still had that shit.
I know, but for me, it's not about the money. It's about having a piece of my childhood again. This is how I choose to decorate my room.
When it all comes down to it, I mean, when I had a room as a child, I had stupid posters up on the wall. Like I had one of Jack Nicholson as the Joker. I had the movie poster for Vice Versa with Judge Reinhold. That's so fucking random. Now when I look at my walls in my man cave, or whatever you want to call it, I see pictures, Doctor Who pictures. And what is the question? What are we talking about?
I'm just saying that
I'm Judy Garland. Is this the camera?
Oh, dear God. But no, I have stuff that, for the most part, if I go before Darlene, I'm just going to tell her, look, just sell this, just get as much money out of this shit as you can. If you go before me, then, I don't care. It'll be put in an auction. Someone who will want this shit will pay enough money to buy the shit, and we can just with the money can go to like a cat shelter as far as I'm concerned. I think we reached a point where I need to stop recording because
oh my God, is this still the show? We should say goodnight to the people.
Okay, well, all right, we will say good night and happy New Year. Hopefully we'll get through these next 4 years unscathed. But until then, during that time, we will drop occasional podcasts now and again whenever we feel like getting together. This is now an occasional podcast, and I think I'm comfortable with that. You've got an Insight Number 9 podcast to listen to now, and I've heard the first 3 episodes, and they're pretty damn good. So I'm looking forward to what you guys are kind of come up with, and you guys are doing a great job. And I'm very proud of you, too.
Thank you.
Until next time, whenever that is, this has been JB in New Orleans.
This is Sean in Austin.
Chris in Springfield.
Now we know Grandpa Simpson's first name.
I moved my bowels today.
Stop it!
Oh, dear.
You have been listening to Doctor Who Gives a Fuck, a drunken Doctor Who podcast for the end times. You can stream or subscribe to this human filth on Apple Podcasts or wherever the fuck you listen to your favorite podcasts. And for fuck's sake, leave a fucking review on Apple fucking Podcast. Don't be a cuck. Tell us why we suck. You can also follow the podcast on Facebook and Twitter until some maniacal multi-millionaire buys those companies in their quest for world domination. And then you're all fucked. Doctor Who and all related characters and situations are trademarks of the BBC, and no infringement is intended.
Direction point! Direction point!
A Doctor Who podcast network.